Yo, YouTube, what's up with your boy? Sports and Fitness Rants. I'm back, guys. Click that like button. Subscribe to my channel. Ladies and gentlemen, on my channel, I'm always telling you guys, live an active lifestyle, make smart nutritional choices. And I've told you guys many times on this channel, right? To be chasing that feeling, the feeling, right? And I've talked to you guys about heart rate on this channel. That's really what you should be focusing on, especially as you get older in your life. You should be focusing on that heart rate. The heart rate, remember the heart muscle, not the show muscles, ladies and gentlemen. And when we think about the heart rate, we must think about our max heart rate. And how do we get to our max heart rate? By keeping the intensity during our workouts, by keeping that intensity up, keeping the rest period short. That's how you keep the intensity up. And keeping the intensity up will keep your heart rate bumping. And we want to think about getting into that red zone. I always tell you guys, man, you want to get in that red zone, which would be the max heart rate, right? So you take 220 and you minus your age. Right? Whatever your age is, you take 220, you minus your age, that's your max heart rate. That's the red zone. That's where you really want to try to get when you're exercising. You want to get into that red zone. And how are you going to know if you're in that red zone, ladies and gentlemen? There's only one way you're going to know if you're in that red zone is if you're able to monitor your heart rate, or you have something that will tell you what your heart rate is. It doesn't have to be a fancy Apple Watch like I have here. It doesn't have to be anything expensive. Heart rate monitors are not that expensive these days. You can get something simple that will tell you what your heart rate is, that keeps track of your heart rate while you're exercising. And that will let you know if you are in fact in that red zone, ladies and gentlemen, because that's really where you want to try to get to. That means that you're pushing yourself, that you're pushing your heart rate. You know, a lot of times people, they exercise or they exert themselves and all of a sudden their heart is beating really hard, it's beating really fast, and that feeling is uncomfortable for them. It's a different feeling. They're not used to having their heart beat like that. And that's why I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you should be focusing on your heart rate when you're exercising. Not necessarily how much weight you're lifting and things of that nature. You should be focusing on your heart rate, getting that heart rate to beat, to pump fast, because that's what keeps it strong, right? We need our hearts to pump hard, ladies and gentlemen. It's a muscle. It needs to get worked out. And a lot of people don't get that heart rate going. So when they finally do something, right, whatever it is in their everyday life, something happens, and now all of a sudden they're exerting themselves, their heart rate gets going. It's an uncomfortable feeling for them. And they believe they're having a heart attack, or they think there's something wrong with them, when in fact, that's just your heart working. That's the way it's supposed to work. It's supposed to beat hard. You want to get that heart rate going. So remember, focus on trying to get into that red zone. 220 minus your age is your max heart rate. Try to get into that max heart rate when you're exercising. Whatever you're doing, try to get into that red zone. Try to push yourself, right? And gradually, like I said, if you can't get there immediately, try to gradually get there so that one day, like I said, you're able to exert yourself, get that heart rate into that red zone, ladies and gentlemen, right? Remember, it's not about so much how you look, but it's about that feeling. And you want that heart to be bumping strong. It's a good feeling when your heart is bumping, right? And you get that heart rate going, right? And you keep that intensity up, right? You get that sweat going. Don't run from the sweat. Don't run from the heartbeat, ladies and gentlemen. Keep that heart bumping. Don't be doing the same simple, basic exercises that never get your heart rate going. Remember, just because you're lifting a certain amount of weight doesn't necessarily mean that your heart rate is going, right? There's a difference there, ladies and gentlemen. You want to be doing exercises that keep that heart rate going, right? So that's why I've told you guys about full body workouts, full body routines, things like burpees, right? The jump rope. These kinds of things will get your heart rate going, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what you really need to keep the heart strong. So think about getting to that max heart rate. Remember, 220 minus your age is that red zone. That's really where you want to be able to get your heart rate going. And that's how you'll become fit, ladies and gentlemen. Remember that.